What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Arman Tsarukyan reveals plans for next fight. With his win over Charles Oliveira at UFC 300, Arman Tsarukyan officially became the next man in line to compete against Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title following Makhachev's recent fight with Dustin Poirier. While the initial hope was that Makhachev and Tsarukyan would compete at UFC 308 in October, news recently emerged that revealed Makhachev is out for the next few months after tearing a ligament in his hand. Because of that, Tsarukyan revealed on an episode of Submission Radio this week that his title fight could wind up getting pushed to the end of 2024 or the beginning of 2025.
If Islam can fight this year, for sure I would like to fight for the interim title. And doesn't matter who is gonna be in front of me.
What do you think about this Dustin Poirier fight for the interim title?
Dustin Poirier, he's a solid fighter and he has a lot of experience. Yeah, it would be great. Dustin, Gagey, Michael Chandler as well. But my focus on Islam.
While there had previously been talk of Makhachev potentially moving up in weight, Javier Mendez made it clear this week, while speaking with Red Corner MMA, that he wants to see Makhachev defend his title and then go for the lightweight title defense record.
And I want to see him go down as one of the greatest of all time, and I believe he's on track to do that. So him defending that lightweight title is on track for that. Then after that, let's see what happens. Maybe Islam gains weight and goes 185. I mean, he'd have to gain weight, obviously, because that's a little big for him. But you never know. He's that good. I mean, pound for pound number one for a reason.
With everything riding on when Makhachev will be ready to fight, it'll be interesting to see how the UFC handles the lightweight division in the months to come. Next up, let's take a look at Tom Aspinall sends a message to Alex Pereira. After his recent win over Jiri Prochazka, Alex Pereira teased a potential move to heavyweight, saying that he would make the jump up in weight if fans wanted to see him move up. Despite that, it sounds as though a move to heavyweight isn't in the cards right now. During a recent video for his YouTube channel, Tom Aspinall spoke about a potential fight between he and Pereira, saying that while he respects the light heavyweight champion, he doesn't want to fight unless the undisputed title is on the line.
So the guy's a superstar in the sport, so do whatever you want, but if we meet, for sure, I think we're both on the same page, it's going to be for an undisputed heavyweight title, so maybe see you next year at some point. Like I say, I've got a lot of respect for Alex Pereira and what he's done in the sport, especially in a short amount of time. But if we're going to make it happen, it's going to be for the undisputed title, so see him there.
Right now, it's unclear when Aspinall could have a chance to compete for the undisputed belt. While a fight between Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic is up next for the division, there's been plenty of speculation regarding whether Jones and Miocic will both retire after the fight, regardless of who wins. As Dana White explained recently, he believes that Jones will want to test himself against Aspinall if he defeats Miocic. However, we could see Aspinall promoted to undisputed champion if both Jones and Miocic retire. Next up, let's take a look at Belal Muhammad and Kamaru Usman go back and forth. In the wake of his win over Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad revealed that he's open to fighting either Shavkat Rakhmonov or Kamaru Usman for his first title defense. In a recent video for his YouTube channel, Usman sent Muhammad a warning in response.
Like I said, the biggest thing for me is getting healthy. So if I can get healthy and get this body right, I'm the best in the world. I just gotta get the body right. So we're gonna get this good workout in. See me warming up. So post champion, post new champion. First workout, first day of the gym. Obviously, when something like that happens, it gives you a new added motivation.
In a follow-up, Usman posted on social media, sending a clear message to Muhammad, writing, "Alright, enough of the nice guy. You were never chasing me, bum. You were barely in rankings when I dominated the division. FYI, I have a win over Leon, son." The comment caught the attention of the newly minted champ, who responded, writing, "Dominated the division? You beat Masvidal twice and went to cardio kickboxing war with Colby twice. Colby sucks. You were protected by the UFC. Now you can barely walk. Your podcast sucks. And your part in Black Panther sucked." Muhammad then followed it up, writing, "You should give Ali your phone. You're not good at Twitter, bro." Usman then responded, writing, "LOL, glad you watched me in Black Panther. Unfortunately, no one wants to watch you fight, much less put you in a movie." Muhammad quipped back, weighing in on Usman's part in Black Panther, writing, "You were a background character in a movie about fighting. They must have seen your striking and decided no fight scenes." He then took another shot at Usman for bringing up his win over Leon Edwards, writing, "Wait a minute, I just noticed your last line, you beat Leon when Obama was still president. Still living in the past, your knee still had cartilage back then." So far, there's been no word yet from the UFC on whether Usman or Shavkat Rakhmonov will get the next crack at the title. Next, let's take a look at Dricus du Plessis shuts down Sean Strickland rematch. After his recent win over Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland made it clear that he has no plans of fighting anyone besides the winner of the upcoming title fight between Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis. In the meantime, Robert Whittaker is set to fight Khamzat Chimaev in a fight that very well could wind up deciding the middleweight #1 contender. During a recent interview with Kevin Iola, du Plessis spoke about Strickland's repeated calls for a rematch leading up to his UFC 305 clash with Israel Adesanya.
Oh, Sean, anything. Yeah, like you said, I mean, the rules are pretty clear. It's scored round by round. The fact that it was a split decision is the biggest shocking factor for me. It was a very clear win for me. But like I said, it's for me, the biggest fight is the fight that I want. The fight the fans want to see. At the end of the day, they are the ones that pay for the tickets, buy the pay-per-views, and, you know, they are the ones that watch this sport. So obviously, for me, fighting, the Adesanya fight was by far the biggest fight.
With Strickland unwilling to fight another top contender after his win over Costa, and the former champ also unwilling to weigh in as the backup fighter at UFC 305 in Perth, he could wind up getting passed up for the next crack at the title if Robert Whittaker defeats Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 308. Next, let's take a look at Leon Edwards and coach are beefing after UFC 304 loss? Late in Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad's UFC 304 headliner, Edwards and his coach Dave Lavelle were involved in a heated exchange between rounds. As Rocky made his way back to the corner, Lavelle asked him if he wanted him to stop the fight and throw in the towel. Edwards then appeared to respond, telling his coach to shut up while using some colorful language, which in the wake of the fight has left Belal Muhammad questioning whether or not there's a rift in the Edwards camp. During a recent interview with MMA Fighting, Muhammad shared his thoughts on the heated exchange between Edwards and Lavelle between rounds.
Mentally, I don't know if him and his coach are going to have like a breakup party now because they look pretty bad in the corner, right? There's a lot of turmoil there, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of blame and a lot of embarrassment coming from that team, and a lot of just embarrassment from himself, right? Like, that was your home soil, that crowd was there for you, that the fight was tailor-made for you. You were supposed to walk through me. You said it was going to be easy, and you got walked through. So now it's like, that's embarrassing. So he has to figure out what he wants to do with his life.
Despite the heated exchange between Edwards and Lavelle, in the wake of the fight, Lavelle stated he would like to see Edwards fight with Ian Gary, given the history between the two, and the fact that the fight would see two of the UK's biggest welterweight stars compete against one another, making it sound as though he and the former champion aren't planning to split up after the UFC 304 loss. Up next, UFC updates. Heading into this weekend's Spivak vs. Tibura 2 card, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with the UFC announcing that UFC 307 will see the promotion return to Utah on October 5th. There had previously been quite a bit of talk suggesting that the event would take place in Utah. However, up until now, the UFC hadn't confirmed the news. So far, several fights have already been announced for the event, with Movsar Evloev and Aljamain Sterling set to throw down at featherweight, and Jose Aldo set to return to the octagon once again after returning to the UFC earlier this year. In addition, Kayla Harrison and Ketlin Vieira are set to compete in a potential #1 contender fight, while Chris Curtis and Kevin Holland are booked for a highly anticipated middleweight showdown. This week, Alexander Topuria, the brother of Ilia Topuria, also announced that he has signed with the UFC. Topuria broke the news via Instagram, where he explained that although he's been coaching his brother, his goal has always been to make it to the UFC. As he wrote in Spanish, "In my mind and heart, the desire to battle on the front line has never faded, so I've never stopped doing it, but this time it'll be in the biggest league in the world. I would like to announce I've officially signed with the UFC." So far, no word yet as to who Topuria will make his debut against. Next up, let's take a look at MMA community roasts Dana White for footage. Recently, Dana White appeared on a live stream sponsored by Fanatics Live and Topps, where he watched as packs of UFC cards were opened one by one. At one point, a John Jones card was pulled from the pack, with White immediately holding it up for fans to see. While White was praising the quote-unquote badass John Jones card, which was actually a rather common card, an incredibly rare autographed Dustin Poirier card was pulled from the pack unbeknownst to the UFC CEO.
Jan Blachowicz refractor. Ooh, John Jones.
That's bad. That is bad. Look at that card.
That's a very special card.
It's like the king.
That's nasty. Greatest fighter in the world.
We got a John Jones card that looks like a king. Are you kidding me right now?
The MMA community was quick to react, cracking jokes at White's expense given his hyperfixation on the John Jones card. One fan wrote, "John Jones must have some serious life-altering dirt on Dana for him to be glazing as much as he is." Another member of the MMA community posted a meme while writing, "Bro has to be playing along at this point, there's no shot." Another joked, "I think Dana White is actually in love with John Jones." As one member of the MMA community wrote, "He's still trying to sell us on John Jones being pound for pound #1, lol." One fan theorized about White's recent praise of Jones, writing, "He knows he doesn't have Conor anymore, so he gotta deep throat the John Jones angle. Makes sense to me." The livestream moment notably came on the heels of White ripping the pound for pound rankings earlier this week, as he questioned why Islam Makhachev and Alex Pereira are now both ranked above Jones.
Dana White suspends fighter for cheating. Bruno Silva was suspended and accepted a 6-month suspension for a metabolite of drostanolone, an anabolic steroid that is prohibited at all times. The suspension began April 11th, and he will be eligible to return on October 11th.